Hello folks, and welcome to another quick early bird special video on Godus. It's been a little while, it's gotten some more updates, and I figured now was a pretty decent time to come back and talk about it. This is, as far as I know, the most current release test version. Basically, it's the beta within the beta. They have the more stable version, and then they have this one that's a little more prone to breaking. But actually, it only crashes on me when I try to close it, so it's pretty much fine. So, basically, this game is more or less the same as it was before. You got your little houses, you got rainstorms every now and again, you got your belief that you can click and drag and ding 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 ding, get all this stuff for magical power. You click on your people and they go build houses and all that jazz. But it has gotten a significant change to that last little bit. Namely, settlements, they used to just be a single statue that you would plonk down in the middle of a bunch of houses and it would gather their belief for them. Now what it actually does is you choose where you want to place your settlement. I do actually have enough, so let me show an example. I'm not actually going to place one because none of these are very good places for them. But if I want to go to a settlement, say I want to do a farming one, it has this ring, and you go to select exactly where it places, and the houses highlight based on what's going to be in it. If I were to then click preview, it sucks them into a single form, and that becomes your settlement. That one actually failed, I think, because these houses are empty, and I'll get to why that is in a little bit. Basically, ooh, that's not how you do that. Cancel. And what that also does is it actually clears away the space around your cities to then place down more stuff. So that's actually really nice. I like that change to the settlements. You collect them all into one big cluster, and then can place more again. Basically, you clear yourself out some more space, which, if you build the farming village, means you have a place to build your farms. And if you have the building village, which is over here? No, where did I place that one? I thought I placed one. Maybe I decided not to, because this is another farming village. Anyway, the building village is basically it shovels out more people to go build more houses more quickly. The farming, though, that is a new aspect since the last time I made a video, I believe. And basically what it is it will generate farmers. They are not builders, they can't build houses. When you send them out into the world, they build these farming plots, which add to your overall farm plot counter. This basically works a bit like the population cap, in that this is your milestone for unlocking new cards, which I'll go into that in a little bit as well. In addition, once every so often, in this case it looks like once every hour and a half, they generate wheat. And that wheat is what you use to build houses. So if I go up here to an empty plot, let's say right there, boom, this tells me it takes 6 wheat to build a house in this plot, which actually, that is not bad, that seems worth it. I'm going to do that, because the big houses are worth a lot of belief. It's a pretty decent gating mechanism. As far as the system itself goes. You expand to a certain point, you have developed stable landscapes. You've developed farming, you're no longer hunter-gatherers, you have settled down. Now expanding is harder because you actually need to support more people. The downside is the hour and a half timer. And that's one of my bigger issues with things, but I will circle back around to that eventually because that ties into other points I wanted to make. Let me finish collecting this belief stuff, and let me look at the cards that you'll be getting with this kind of stuff. So this is their new timeline. It's super fancy looking, actually. I honestly really like how it looks. Top here is the entire timeline. There is what you're currently working on, I believe. Yeah, it needs 20. So these are the things that you can currently get. This one's actually from way back in the timeline, that's why there's this big gap here. These are things that I have not yet unlocked, and I can click on this and see, oh, this one needs 12 ore or minerals or whatever. I actually have not unlocked mining yet, so I can't even get that. Down here are powers that I have unlocked by reaching their points. I've reached their milestones, and I could unlock this. And that is what these down here are for. These are the stickers that I have gathered from the world that I can... and also from another thing that I'll show in a bit. A lot of stuff being set up till later. That I could unlock. See, if I click this, you can see the little bar fills up, and I could set it down here. This is kind of a waste right now. I don't think I actually need it, so I'm going to leave it alone. This right here is a little advertisement for, hey, you don't have enough stickers? You can go buy some. Now, this looks bad. Right off the bat, this looks terrible. Like, oh my god, it's an in-game shop. Let me guess, the gems are paid for currency. On the mobile version, yes. In this version, no. Gems you can actually find randomly in chests. You can get them as rewards for this thing over here, which is also where you get the other cards, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And you can also get them through this, the Temple of Doom, which is a PC exclusive object that spawns in your world. Basically what this is if you have the belief to leash some guys, grab a couple, and fire's lit, you're leading them there. Boop. So let's watch the followers go to the Temple of Doom. Oh, he seems very upset with this. But I have told him to do so, and they can't say no. Oh, they even whistle sadly as they go. So there we go. All of the sent people have sacrificed themselves, and ding, 1 gem per villager. And it takes... let's believe. There we go. It takes about 20 minutes or less to generate new followers after you've had them sacrificed. Honestly, not a terrible gate. I thought it was higher than that. That's not terrible. So basically, you can't sacrifice everyone in your village all the time, because not only does it take forever to get them back, it also makes them unhappy, which is another new system, which I will get to in the future. Let's see now. Oh, yeah, this is my building village. As you can see, it has several builders in it. Are they building, like, decent? Yeah. School build stuff. What was I getting at before that? Oh, so yeah, the gems. So I can go into the shop now, and I could buy free belief if I'm running out, or my houses just aren't generating things and I'm impatient. I could buy free stickers if I just don't have enough. I'm kind of past the primitive age now, so those would not be very efficient for me. I'd need to get the bronze age ones, and honestly at this point it's faster to get the chests. You may have noticed I clicked on a few chests and they gave me stuff. Those actually do regenerate on the landscape with the thunderstorms. When a thunderstorm occurs, lightning strikes will slap new chests down in your landscape, sometimes on the surface, sometimes slightly underneath the ground. And so you basically do have an infinite supply of chests and stickers and things, so long as you're willing to wait for them. And that is a big part of this game, waiting. Again, later. The other thing, if you want stickers, belief, gems, etc. very quickly, pretty much, I would say about an hour of building houses, I got far enough to reach this boat thing. You get some villagers to fix this sucker up, and you can click on it, and you go on voyages. And what these are little isolated campaigns of small missions that give you certain rewards. I don't know what this one is. It might be kind of tough, but whatever. Let's do one just to show you. So I have my boat. It is full of, looks like about 10 people? Could be more than that. It sails to my first location. Alright, so here we go. This is the map I am going to play on. This is where my boat is. This is where I need to get everyone. I have this much time, I need to get 10 people there. And I will be getting a sticker off of this. That's, you know, not great, but this seems like an actually pretty easy one, so that's not a huge deal. What's going to be dangerous here? These guys pretty much stomp your guys flat, and you don't have too many people to spare. And it looks like these are deep enough channels that it actually takes belief to sculpt that low, and I'm pretty sure this level is not going to actually give me any. So I am stuck to sculpting very shallow depths, and that's going to limit my options here. So, let's go ahead and land. And you have 30 people in your boat, here we go, and I need to place at least 10 in the level. If I do more, I can afford to lose some, but that's not really a good idea generally, because you don't want to be losing some, you'll eventually run out. Dog, stop moving, your calling is very loud. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Now, if I can do this, perfect. I have now cut the big dude off. So my people can safely-ish... Oh! His range is much higher than I thought it was. Well, there goes that. So because I've lost one villager, I literally did not have enough to complete it. And so, it just immediately failed you. Thankfully, it doesn't make you go through the entire thing. You fail immediately as soon as you cannot actually complete the criteria of the level anymore. Now, unfortunately, every follower you sent on the mission is lost. So, all 10 of those guys are basically dead. So I can try again, but as you'll see, if I hit land, I now only have 20. So sending 10 is half of what I have. So I'll do it again. And that whistling that started, that basically means they have a clear path. They can make it to wherever it is you're trying to go. Now the question is, how do I get them? All right, let's do this. We'll close off this. We'll let them go around, and we'll connect this. But we'll disconnect this and this. So basically, this is a sort of a rehash of an earlier level, where they would spiral all the way around, but that was slow and inefficient, and what you can actually do was make a shortcut, and they would zoom straight there. In this case, the slow and inefficient route is the one you want because it's the one that's not filled with guys who will stomp your dudes flat. Now this seems kind of slow, so I can hold the fast forward button, let them run, and see, this is why it gave you 2.5 minutes to complete this level. They gotta go all the way around. Ding, 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 and boom, that was the level. Saved everyone. I got my ticket, my sticker, and boom, there we go. Each of these areas, they seem to be handcrafted. I'm pretty sure these are not procedurally generated, but there are 10 levels per, and they tend to have a theme. I did another one previously called Swamped, where every level had swamp in it, and swamp basically kills people who walk across it, so you had to finagle paths that would go around it. And a couple were kind of annoying because you couldn't quite tell in advance where traversable terrain was going to be, and sometimes you guys would step off a cliff and you'd go, oh no, I thought they couldn't actually go down there, and then they'd die, and whatever. But that was sort of a, you know, hey, pay more attention next time, dummy, try it again. And when you run out of guys, oops, your only option left is to boom, return to the homeworld. And over time, not this timer here, but over time, your followers on the boat will regenerate, and a small thing will pop up here going, bink, hey, go try out the voyages, because it's full again. And you can go back and keep trying. This timer here, I believe, is a timer to refresh the destinations. There we go. This destination that I'm on right now will not be available after a day, meaning I won't be able to get the end rewards, which seems to be some sort of mystery. This one, mostly going to be rewarding wheat and belief. This one's going to be rewarding gems. This one's going to be rewarding a whole bunch of things. But considering this is called the Burning Isles, I imagine this one's very difficult. They're swamped. It ends in a day, and I have only one left. Maybe I'll go back and do that on my own time. So that is that. It's a way of gaining resources when you have nothing else to do. It's basically the most gamey part of the game. But most of what you'll do is still going to be back here in the overworld that you've created. Finally, I think this is finally, the other major new feature, this little bar down here, they have added a new race of people to the world called the Astari. They have their little village here, and they're basically the happy-go-lucky party people. They exist to have a good time, and they're all super happy, and occasionally they will show up on the outskirts of your civilization. Here we go. And make noises and mock you, or mock your people, and that slows down their building. You can scare them away just by trying to dig around near them. They freak out and go, ah, and swim to safety. They're kind of fun. They're cutesy. But the reason they exist is that their happiness is constantly being compared to the happiness of your followers. At a certain point, let me go see that timer again, in 28 minutes, they will begin a festival. When their festival completes, if their people are happier than your people, some of your followers will actually defect over to their place instead of living where you are. If it's the other way around, you'll get a much smaller cluster of their people living in your town. The downside of this is that Astari don't build. They take up houses. I believe they might create belief, but they don't do anything. And that's kind of obnoxious. I had one build a nice big house, and he built it, and now he lives in it alone and doesn't do anything. So he's kind of stuck in the middle here. He doesn't join settlements, so he blocks me from making other settlements. He's a little bit obnoxious. I'm not sure what benefit he actually gives to anything. So there is that. A main problem I have with this is this game continues to simulate while you're gone. So if you go, oh, this thing has another day to build, you leave the game alone for a day, shut it down, whatever, come back and turn it back on, it tracks what day it is, and goes, oh hey, the day has passed, boom, your project is done. Happiness and Astari things continue going on while you're gone as well. I came on today to record this after not having played for about a day and a half. I lost 45 villagers to the Astari. That's why all of these say empty. They were all just trailing out when I got back because they apparently defected over to the Astari, and now there are no people living there. So that's kind of unfortunate. Even this farm, apparently they took one of my farmers. This used to have a guy working it, but not anymore. So that's kind of annoying. The way you can get happiness, or at least the way I currently have to get happiness, is I can place trees, and that makes people happy. Let me watch, see how much it goes up. Let's go there. It's honestly, it's a pretty decent chunk, to be fair. People will also be happy for a number of other ways. You can rain on them, which also increases crop growth speed, and that makes people cheerful. Notice the cost of the trees actually goes up the more I'm using it. So that will quickly stop being efficient. Something else that actually was recommended by Peter Molyneux himself is going into powers and cheatsy doodling by placing a swamp right there. And what that's going to do is when they come down to have their little festival and dance and sing and play and be happy, they're all going to die. Then that's not going to make them very happy. So, yeah, in the long run, this will probably prevent me from ever losing to them in happiness. And now, what I meant by, suggested by Peter Molyneux himself, is that this version of the game, I don't know if it's the release test one or just this stage of the actual game, even the one you purchase, has a running commentary by Peter Molyneux and one of the other guys who's working on the game, where they basically explain the different powers to you, how they think they're meant to be used, what their thought process was when designing some of them, that sort of thing. And that's actually really cool. That's pretty fun to go, okay, so that's what they think about it. Peter Molyneux is still his very wishy-washy, this will make you feel this way about your people self, which I find hilarious. It doesn't help much. Maybe that's not the right term, but it doesn't mean anything, but it's fun anyway. That he really gets attached to his games, and you gotta respect that in some respect. But that's cool. And he gives his little tips and tricks and how he plays the game. It's not how you have to play the game, but it's how he does things, and that's cool. And yeah, so it works. It works for them. Now, if I press this, yeah, okay, so it's telling me I can send my builders out to go live in this house where he'll then breed and fission off a small baby, and I can go live in the other houses. So I'll be able to get these houses back up to a habitable status eventually. I can't recall what else I was going to talk about. Oh, well, the main thing. Is this game worth it right now? Is this game worth 20 bucks? No. I would say, in its current state, this game is not $20 worthy. I don't recall if I actually paid that much. I was a Kickstarter backer, so I may have actually paid more than that. It's not worth it in and of itself. For me, this has been very worth it because it's been kind of fun to watch it progress and see, okay, these are the decisions I would not have made, but I'm not up to Peter Molyneux level. But these are decisions I wouldn't have made. These are the ones I think might have made it better, that sort of thing. And also, it's kind of just fun to mess around with. What I've been doing, I don't know exactly what the ratio is in my Bandicam recording here, but I think you can probably see. I have this in windowed mode. What I basically have been doing is I've been treating this like the way I played Cookie Clicker. I, started it up, played for maybe 1 hour, 2, and got my initial settlement going. I had some of these houses, I started clearing away my old houses, and, it was a nice, stable settlement. At that point, I then ignored it, left it open in the background, and just did other stuff. Every so often I'd swing back by, collect some belief, place down some new houses, and then just keep going. It is a mobile game. Like, this game has been designed to be a mobile game, but it's a PC port that has PC-exclusive features because they aren't even allowing you to do pay-to-win things, which is great. I do appreciate that there's not even... You can't spend more money on this game. Once you bought the game, you're done. You're not paying any more cash. but it still feels like a mobile game. Everything has a time gate. Everything's going to take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour more to do all of these things. And that really hinders progress. But at the same time, how much progress is there to actually make? You look at this timeline, it goes quite a way. But also, how big is the world? Will you eventually be running out of space? It seems like you eventually just hit endless ocean. And you know what? That's not especially terrible. Maybe you want to have the difficulty of dealing with confined space eventually, because this is a pretty big landscape still. If you had houses and cities and settlements all over this place all the time, it would be quite hectic to take care of it all. So that might actually be a good end game scenario. But there's still not anything to actually do. It's not even really a Sim City type deal where you gotta keep the people happy and fund things accurately. Keeping people happy is as simple as getting enough belief to plonk down a few trees. Or in this case, cheating and making the Astari pissed off all the time. It's not difficult, it's just time consuming. And there's no problem with that, but that's currently all there is to it. Now, I'm going to keep watching it. It may get more interesting as time goes on. If it doesn't, it's still not a terrible game. It's just not much of a game. And I don't think it's $20 worthy. I think that's my main complaint. It's a PC game that started as a mobile game that still feels like a mobile game. And you can't give it too much flack for that. That's what it was. They never claimed to be anything different. Dog, stop making noise. Garage door, stop making noise. But yeah, there's just it's a very empty game right now. The other complaint I did have is your houses, once you place them, can't be changed. There were originally a bunch of like ramshackle huts down here from when I very first started playing this, and they're ugly as sin and don't give you any belief. To actually have decent housing down here, you have to bust them all down and hope you have enough wheat to build new ones. Now, while I appreciate the fact that you can kind of have a living timeline of, oh, here's where I started, here's all my huts, here's where I first got bigger huts, oh, here's where I first got settlements, blah, blah, blah. That's not actually very nice when it comes to actually wanting an efficient use of your space. If you somehow did eventually run out of habitable area, it's not helpful to have these houses you can't use here. All that said, you can probably come to your own conclusions from this point. The garage door is a herald of my time here is basically done anyway, so I will leave you with this. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've, enjoyed seeing what this game has become after its Kickstarter success. We'll see if it remains a Kickstarter success in the long run, but in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.